Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 2 of the Crosscut DP podcast. With me, as always, is Lucas Dimania. Lucas, how you doing, my man?
Hey guys, welcome to episode 2. Hope you're sticking around after watching episode 1.
Yeah, or you just joined us. If you are just joining us now, feel free to check out episode 1. We'll leave a link down in the description below. How was there was a lot of Street Fighter action last week, man. So how's that been treating you?
Yeah, there really was, especially with the MixUp, which is definitely the biggest tournament in like a while that we've had after those 2 American tournaments that were like at the start of the CPT. But like since that, we haven't really had like a tournament where like everyone's here, that kind of feeling, you know. So just very high level matches everywhere, like pools. There was at least like 4 or 5 pro players in every pool. It was kind of disgusting. I kind of felt bad for some of the overseas players, but yeah, it was amazing to watch at least.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think I took notes on like who's playing during pools, and like it was a 7-hour stream, and during those 7 hours, I think there were like 1 or 2 players on stream that were not like big name pros.
Yeah, anytime I would like tune in, I at least know one of the players.
Yeah, definitely. So, the MixUp, I'm sure we'll be covering that in depth a bit later in the episode. Apart from that, there was the Street Fighter League, which, you know, I was actually really happy to see the first episode then. But then there was also this part in the Japanese scene, right? They had some sort of exhibition game going on.
Yeah, it was like Hiroshima, like exhibition, esports battle or whatever they were calling it, right? Mm-hmm. And that was pretty cool. It was like, I think a lot of the players that went there just went there for the money or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like
completely honest.
There we are. So we're about like 4 minutes into the podcast. Let's talk about money again. Let's do that.
I mean, it has to be true, right? There was like such a big like premier tournament, and then there's like 4 or a couple more like top pro players that got invited there, and they chose to go there over the MixUp. Meaning that they probably got a fair amount of money, right? And I know that the top like 5 at least got like some money as well, like prize pool wise.
Like the motivation for some of the players might have been different, because there's people like, for instance, like I'm seeing Bonchan and Gachikun and GamerB, and those are people, you know, even if they skip a big premiere like the MixUp, where they're even not guaranteed to make top 8 because it's such a stacked event, like they can probably make up the points somewhere else. So there you have it. What we're doing in this podcast, as usual, we'll cover the spoilerless games of the week first, then we'll have a look at the US scene with the Street Fighter League, then quickly jumping over to the Japanese scene while ending, and that'll be the biggest thing this week, the CPT. But yeah, spoilerless games of the week. Are there any games that you really want to recommend to the people here?
To be honest, there were so many highlights, right? Especially the MixUp. Like every game was just a highlight, really. It was so entertaining. Like any game could be top 8, to be completely honest. So I remember there was one particular game with Fujimura against the Guile player. Mm-hmm. It was a pretty unknown Guile player, I'd say, or maybe like known but like not top level known, where he did like a crazy, pretty cool combo. That was pretty nice. I like that game. And me as a Zeku fan, I really like Angry Birds games, especially since he's continuing his like, I wouldn't say dominance, but definitely like dominant performance, at least after winning Brussels, right? I remembered one game like in particular, Alice, and like there was a Daigo game where he played against like a Sakura, which went to like last round. That was a really good game.
Daigo versus Sonic in pools, right?
Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's actually also on my recommended games list. So, you know, maybe we'll just give that to you, because there's one more Fujimura game I'd like to highlight, and that's pools game between Fujimura and Nasty Nas.
Oh yeah, now I remember. Like I couldn't remember him off the top of my head, but now that you're here, like saying the matches, I definitely remember. Like the nail biter, right? Like this is spoilerless, so I won't really
crap.
I won't really spoil, but
no, that was definitely a nail biter.
Damn.
But no, as far as other like spoilerless recommendations, so all of top 8 for the MixUp, and specifically the winners final and grand finals. Both of those I thought were really good. I know
the winners finals were amazing. Yeah, like that one player was really on fire this tournament.
You mean
made for a great game?
That good player in top 8,
and the other really good player as well. Made for a great match.
I definitely want to highlight Fujimura versus Nasty Nas in pools. As you mentioned, Daigo versus Sonic also in pools. And then basically, like you mentioned, like top 8 was sick. Every single match in there was, because it was such a, like, it was already such a hype event before that, but then top 8 was so good. I think the mix-up, as it stands right now, it's definitely a candidate for a tournament of the year. Like
definitely out of the tournaments that have been so far, it was definitely very entertaining to watch.
I guess for me, there's one more game that I would want to highlight, and that is from the Street Fighter League. That was Punk versus Up to Snuff. Punk on the Kami, and Up to Snuff not on his Nakali main, but playing Akuma instead. This is a big fat spoiler warning. If you don't want to be spoiled, turn off the podcast now. So winners finals and grand finals, obviously you always expect those to be like the best games, but here they really were, because
definitely.
You know, the thing with Daigo, like, he was really tearing a like sort of through winners bracket, and
he really was.
I feel with Daigo, he kind of has this like almost the LeBron James curse, as in that like he is so good and he's been so good for so long that people, they really don't pay attention to it anymore. And then like, even like for his standards, like sometimes he'll be like really on fire and really tear it up, and I feel like that was sort of what was happening during the mix-up, because
definitely he's like so much of a legend, right? So like when he just has like a dip or like just a couple of not top 8 tournaments, people are like quick to go to the Daigo's washed up, Daigo Umejuares washed up, you know, that kind of that kind of thought process. But like that man can always just come in and swoop up the victory, definitely.
So I guess that concludes the games of the week. Moving on to the US scene, and for now that is apart from the usual CPT stuff, which we'll cover later, that's a Street Fighter League. So you said you managed to catch some of that. What were some of your impressions of week 2? They call it, but it's really like the first week of games.
Yeah, so I personally like the format. So it's like what I call it the Pokemon format, right? So like one player keeps playing until he loses, right? So I really like that format personally, instead of like the regular team tournament first 2 ones that you usually get.
But that's not really how it works though, right?
Really?
No, I think because like they have like both teams, like they have to say like these are the competitors we're going to field, and in this order, and so even if you win, like you have to switch out. Like if
you win, you have to switch, but like you're still in the game, right? So you can play again.
Yeah, for sure. And then not even can you play again? You have to play again, and also in the same order. So that might. I haven't really seen like a lot of potential for like mind games on that part, but it could definitely, that rule could definitely come into play later. So the Pokemon format. All right.
I mean, I guess if that's how it is, it's slightly different from Pokemon, but I guess I kind of get the link. But that's still pretty cool, right? You can always make some comebacks, and there's always going to be people who like take out 2 or even 3 competitors, which is always fun to watch, right? The upset. So it's pretty cool. The ban system, I personally like it. It's probably worse for some teams than others, but I think so far it's been entertaining, I'd say, even though I've not watched all the matches, but the team match that I've been able to witness were pretty entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess like entertaining is the keyword, because it's I think, especially because we had such a stacked premiere in the mix-up also like this weekend, I think that serves to really showcase the difference between sort of the super high level pro play and then the stuff you have at Street Fighter League. Street Fighter League is all about the entertainment and the hype, and I feel like the matches really delivered on that part though this week, especially like the third match, the one with Toy's team. Like holy crap. We'll get into that. So basically the tournament is run as a double round robin tournament. So each team plays all of the other teams not once but twice, and Capcom, they refer to it themselves as a 2-season league. So I guess it's kind of similar to what League of Legends does with the LEC, like they have the double round robin, but I guess like on like the return leg of that part, they'll call it like the second season or something. And then like not only do you get like one character ban per team, all players, they're also character locked, and that is actually kind of interesting. So if you pick a character to deal with like one opponent, you cannot switch to another one for another opponent. So that's...
It also makes sense, right? Because that makes the ban system even more like relevant. Because if you were able to like even switch between the matches, like you would have one character banned, but if you have like these character specialists like Punk or like other people, you can just pick whatever. You just like do the bans even matter? It's just gonna be them picking random alts to counter pick each other or whatever. So I like it this way. It's pretty good.
Yeah, indeed. There is a possibility for like one player to kill the entire other team. You know, the all kill thing.
The OCVs, right? Yeah.
Oh man, I like that. That is so much
victory.
I really hope that happens at some point during the season, because that's the
has
hypest
to,
thing.
right? Like there's so many.
Yeah.
There's definitely a couple like really good players that I can definitely see do like even just Punk, right? Even on the secondaries, I can definitely see OCV a team.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's probably going to be a set where they leave open a screen, and if it just picks screen, I can definitely see go south very quickly for the opponent.
Yeah, I think if they ever leave Kareen open versus Punk's team, they're done. So like you can't do that, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to win.
Because if there was any doubt in our minds last week about like Punk season, there is no doubt left. Because spoiler, Mr. Punk won another premiere, so he is definitely the #1 player in Street Fighter right now. So
it was really funny because before the tournament started, he was like not complaining, but kind of complaining about the seeds on Twitter. It was like adding the mix-up, like what are these seeds? Because he got seeded like maybe 7th or something, while he's literally #1 on the CPT standings.
Yeah.
And then they replied like, blah blah blah, we're taking this into account and this and that. And then he's like, he was kind of triggered, right?
Yeah.
and then he just won the premiere anyway. And then people are like adding the mix-up, like yeah, and he's Punk like yeah okay. Hopefully you'll get seeded 6th next time.
Yes, I think he's definitely earned that 6th seed. He's worked very hard
if
for
he
it.
doesn't get seeded like 1st next time, it's actually stupid.
Yeah, I imagine he will, right? It's at this point it's kind of impossible not to. So if we have a look at the episode 2 games, I was a bit unsure of how things were gonna go. And I tried to have a look at, you know, how are they going to go about the bans and like who is going to win. All in all, I would have to say that it's usually the teams that I thought would win that came out on top.
Okay.
So yeah, if that's okay with you, we'll have a quick look at what went down in day 1 of the Street Fighter League. So Team Spirit was up versus Team Gale, and Team Spirit, they expected a Manat ban, and they wanted to counter with an Ibuki ban. Now Team Gale, they were actually on the exact same page as far as bans are concerned, so that's exactly what happened. Team Spirit banned Shine's Ibuki, where Team Gale banned Justin's Manat.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which you know, it actually turned out really well. Now I was pretty surprised because Psycho, which we had previously pegged sort of as the weakest player on Team Spirit anyway, he went up versus Shine's Judy, and like he just stole it, man. He went 2-0 versus Psycho's Nakali, and that's a bummer. If you target ban a person and he still wins 2-0, like that is not a good start to your series.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Now, in fact, Brian F, he played really solid. Like he played versus Do, versus Knuckle Do. So he was, even though he was up against the team captain, he was still putting up a really solid work. And I feel that's sort of where you can see that there's like this differentiation between like the team captain and then the online warrior. But you know, Brian F, like if he's in next season, like in next year's Street Fighter League, Brian F is a captain for sure.
Definitely. I mean, he got top 8 very recently, right? At that big tournament. So he's definitely shown that he's not only online. So yeah, definitely no surprise if he wins against anyone in this league.
No, but unfortunately he did end up falling to Do. Also 0-2, which is a bit surprising because like it was definitely closer than, you know, the score would suggest.
Did Do play Mika?
No, he did not. He played Kami. He went for the Kami. And then Justin won. Now, of course, because of the Manat ban, he had to play something else. And
You probably picked like some stupid shit like Falk.
you are entirely correct.
Okay.
Because like I love how he said
surprise me.
yeah, because before the league even started, like he was very like vocal about, I'm gonna lame these fools out, and
Yeah.
that's exactly what he tried to do. And you know what? Before the match started, I thought, yeah, he might definitely be able to do it, because he was up versus Rob TV on the Karin. And that is a character that Justin Wong, like, he made it himself. He's got tons of experience on it. So I thought, like, this might be a difficult matchup for Rob TV. Guess what happened?
Justin got bodied.
Justin got bodied so bad. Oh man, it was not even close. Like Rob TV, like, he stunned him. He went after everything. And
doesn't really surprise me.
Oh yeah, no, like Justin Wong, it was a bit of a, I don't know, it was a bit of a disappointing set. Now the funniest thing, like, he ended because he took 4 straight rounds, right? And he ended the 4th round by doing 4 straight throws, just throw loop after throw loop.
Nice, I think I saw that clip maybe.
Oh, that was.
But yeah, I'm not too surprised, right? Like, Justin, of course, he's a legend of the game, and I think he sets his mind to it. He can be like at the top of the game, like, whenever he wants to, but the thing is, he just doesn't put in the time that other players do, right? So he doesn't. I wouldn't even be surprised if it doesn't play every day. He probably doesn't. Like, and if he does, it's probably not more than like 2 hours, right? And like, he's a dad now too, and yeah, I know for a fact that he just doesn't put in the hours in the game. So I feel like he lacks a lot of like even basic knowledge, because I remember when I was watching his live commentaries, he just still not too sure about like frames of how minus or how plus certain buttons are from like characters, right? That just shows to me that he's, well, of course, still a god at the game, right? He can lay people out in any game even without the knowledge. But it definitely shows me that, yeah, he's not putting in as many hours as other players might be doing.
All right, but yeah, so first game, unfortunately for Justin Wong's team, that was a bit of a wash. But the second game, it got a bit more entertaining. Why? Because I had Punk. And now Punk, he was being the alpha. Like, he basically, what he said is, yeah, I don't even know why I'm standing here with Nephew, because Up to Snuff should be the captain of this team.
Yeah, and he was pretty vocal about Up to Snuff being the best player, right, on that team.
And I kind of see why, but like,
yeah, same.
We'll get into that. But so basically, Punk, he said, yeah, you know what? I don't even need to ban his Colleen. We'll just ban Up to Snuff's Nakali, because like, he's the best player on that team.
Also, maybe that's like 200 IQ mind games, because Nephew also plays G, right? So maybe he just doesn't want to play against G, and he's like, Nephew, we don't need to ban your Colleen, you're trash. So he like, they just bait his Colleen so they don't have to deal with G.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely in there.
Games. Who knows?
But yeah, while Punk was up there, you know, giving out the S tier trash talk, like, you just, Nephew, like, I feel he's definitely not comfortable in the whole like televised role yet. He's just like very, very businesslike. I think he will regret that decision. Boom. Okay, come on, my man. That's rookie level trash talk.
I mean,
Please.
He hasn't really had that much experience streaming. Like, pretty sure he streamed like once or something, like not like very regularly. And...
so he streamed once. Is that like a thing with Colleen mains, or?
Whoa! Is this something personal?
I have no idea what you're talking about. Twitch.tv/LucasDmania1.
Please.
So yeah, basically, Punk's team ended up banning Nakali, whereas Team Frost, they banned Karin. And like we said, if you're facing Punk's team, you have to ban Karin. If you don't, you're done. I mean, yeah, that's it.
I mean, yeah, probably right.
Broly Lex played the first game, and that was against Dual Kevin's Rashid. And you know, there was a 1-2. We had the set that you also mentioned, right? So Punk versus Up to Snuff Sakuma.
I really liked all the matches in this set, to be honest. Like, but yeah, the highlight has to be Punk versus Up to Snuff, right? The Kami versus the Kuma. Like, when the game started, like, Punk started washing Up to Snuff, right? And I was like, well, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's Punk. But then he started taking it back, and it just became really close, and it was just an awesome set to watch. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more from them. And then, unfortunately, like the rest of the set was, so shall we say, a bit less entertaining.
Yeah.
So Punk actually said, "Yeah, we're putting JB as anchor because we want to save the best for last." And I thought, "Ooh, really? Versus Nephew?" But then it was 2-0.
It was brutal. Yeah, it was pretty free.
It was pretty free. I'm not gonna lie about that. And then we got to the third match, which for me was definitely the best thing that was happening out there. Team Storm versus Team Psycho. Like,
oh baby,
this was maybe it was not like the best one, mechanically speaking, but holy crap!
Spectacle.
See, this is what I like about the FGC. Like, we're not entirely into the whole business-like esports stuff, right? Toy, oh man, like he was trashing Item like so hard. It was really pretty funny.
Toy's like one of those figures that usually just sits behind the screen, right? But like when you give him an opportunity like this, he's gonna make sure you hear about it for the rest of his life.
Yeah, man. Not only that, like I knew Toy, like I really liked his Bison play and thought, yeah, okay, this guy's but
he's really good, yeah.
He's hilarious on camera. Like he was really good on camera. So yeah, of course they banned Laura. Like the
Makes
other.
sense, right? Yeah.
Then Team Spirit ended up banning Bison, which is kind of obvious.
Yeah.
So both captains, they were robbed of their main, and they both, what did they do? They did the whole like pro thing. So they said, let's play a top tier character. V-trigger to Birdie.
Wait, who played Birdie?
Toy played Birdie, and got bodied by Classico's Urian. He's amazing on camera, but he played Classico's Urian, and he was completely unable to adapt to even like a very simple thing in game, like whenever Urian like launches a fireball. Like you cannot jump over it because he can sort of like is it headbutt afterwards? Like he can, or like shoulder. You cannot jump over the fireball because like the Urian, like he will always clip the jump.
I mean, yeah, if it's far enough. But I mean, if he was playing a bird, he can headbutt through it, right? So I guess he wasn't really utilizing the headbutts to punish the fireball either. Yeah,
no, it was just he showed a pretty severe inability to adapt there. But yeah, and then so see, here's the thing, right? So as far as Birdie's concerned, it's V-Trigger 2 that's like really popular these days. I think Item played V-Trigger 1 Birdie. It was versus Just a Kid's Jury, which was actually really quite impressive. This set was getting really heated, right? Just a Kid, he teabagged. First chance he got, like he was teabagging Item. It was and Toy, like he was popping off. It was so funny.
He is just a kid, you know.
That's kind of true. So yeah. And then of course my man Samurai playing a set versus Warlord El Chacote. It was a pretty good set, but Samurai, he took care of business. The very last one, it was actually really close. So the last one was Samurai Zakuma versus Just a Kid's Jury, and it was final. It was the final game.
And then Just a Kid ended up winning, right? If I recall correctly.
He did, I do believe. Yeah.
And then it went into the legendary Justin Wong 2.0 barrel roll. The Toy barrel roll.
This kid is unstoppable. Like it was so funny. Like I do feel like his pop-ups, like he was very supportive of his team, but I felt like he was compensating a bit because I'm not gonna lie, his ass got carried this week.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's also kind of funny because Just a Kid, like he was rocking those Korean heat packs. Like I haven't seen those since my StarCraft 2 days, man. Like that's very esports of him. But yeah, his jury, it was actually really clean. He played very well versus he was very well versed, obviously, in the Kuma matchup, and that's something that I personally hadn't seen before. Like every time there was an EX Demon flip, he was just challenging it with air grabs, which is really quite nice. It's a good answer. So
very nice.
So yeah, overall, I would have to say that the first actual week of matches, they were really quite entertaining.
Definitely, yeah.
So in general, I thought it was very cool to see the, some people stepping up. Like Shine's Jury was really nice. Rob TV dominating Justin Wong. Up to Snuff playing really well for Punk. The Samurai and Just a Kid matches, they were also very good. But then as far as some of the captains were concerned, Nephew, he disappointed a little. But all in all, I was super entertained, man. I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, same. Can't wait for more bell rolls.
Yeah, for sure. Next up, Lucas, what's happening over in Japan, my man?
Yeah, so there was like a Hiroshima Exhibition tournament, I guess, which had like 4 top players who were invited by the tournament itself. And those 4 players were Big Bird, Gamer B, Gachikun, and Bonchan. And then there were going to be 4 other players who were going to be decided by a tournament. And those players were going to end up in a 8 people tournament at the end to decide the winner against those 4 like already in pro players basically.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like we said earlier, like there's a lot of those 4 pro players, of course, skipped out on the mix-up since it was at the same time to go to this tournament in particular. But yeah, so the 8 players who ended up playing in the tournament were, of course, Ponchan, Gachikun, Gamerby, and Big Bird, which were the invited people. And then the people who made it through were a player called Yamedi. I've never heard of him. Ryukichi, which is also someone I don't know myself. Then you have Mochi, of course, the Dawson player, very known.
Mm.
And you have Powell, the
Oh, yeah, that's right, Powell. That's somebody we actually haven't covered yet, I do believe. Mm-hmm. But his performance at like Evo Japan, I was really hoping it was going to be some sort of like breakout performance. But maybe he just doesn't travel that much.
He just doesn't travel, probably, right? Because he does really well at like all the Japanese tournaments. He did really well at Evo Japan, the first Evo Japan. He was top 8, and then he was like 3rd maybe this Evo Japan, or at least like 4th, like very high.
Yeah, he got very high. Yeah. He's like both this year and last year. He's also the guy who played Tokido either to losers or out of the tournament, right?
And he got 3rd at this tournament, ending finishing above Gamer B, Big Bird. So yeah, he's definitely a fierce competitor.
Yeah, he had these matches versus the Nokali player. Is it Jobin or?
Yeah, Jobin.
No. Yeah, those. So in case you haven't caught those yet, here's another recommendation: Evo Japan. Check the Powell matches. Definitely.
To be honest, just check out any Jobin match from Evo Japan. To be honest, like let's just switch to Jobin real quick. That man is a legend.
I don't know. He must have like some sort of turbo command for his EXDP though.
He used to be known for like being the rag or read SF4, so.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was like the rag or read. We're just doing DPs and just go crazy, but he was really good on top of that, so it really worked out for him. Yeah, he's continuing the legacy, and now he's really solid on top of it too, so it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I know, because I personally, of course, like I haven't seen too much of him, but I know that like a lot of people in the Discord are huge fans of Jobin Sama. So
me too.
Alright. So yeah, tell us what actually ended up happening there in Hiroshima.
Yeah, so the winner was Bonchan, the one and only. He came off getting 9th, of course, right, at Brussels, which was pretty disappointing. He stayed himself as well, so he's probably happy that he won this tournament, which was, of course, not like as stacked, but nonetheless, there's a lot of very good players. And he ended up winning that and a fair amount of money. And he actually got 3k. It's like 300,000 yen. So. And you have to remember it's in Japan too, right? So it didn't have to travel too far.
Makes sense. Oh man, 300,000 yen. You can get a lot, like you can get so many karagebo for that though.
You can eat 3,000 plates of gaiten sushi. Even better.
Oh yeah, like you'd probably
even more actually.
You'd probably catch food poisoning way before that though. Shout out to cheap kaiten sushi. We see you. We love you.
Come on, dude. That shit's amazing. Sushi any day.
Yeah, baby. So yeah, are there like any? Did you catch any of the matches or?
I actually didn't, because the stream was once again, as Japan likes to do, sponsored and on very great platforms that I will not mention. But yeah, so I actually didn't. But
did it? Let's just say, does it start with an O?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like for the people in the know, you could check that out at the very start of the first episode of the Crosscut DP podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, Japan likes to stream their stuff on that platform, so.
Like, honestly, is there like a reason we cannot mention the fact that OpenRec sucks, or?
Overwork is so bad. It always lags for me if I try to watch. It's always so laggy and like the qualities, but I don't know why. It just doesn't work outside of Japan.
Yeah, no, it's definitely sort of like a domestic thing, which is obviously, you know, we as Western fans of the Street Fighter series, something we have gotten accustomed to, right? It's like, you know, a lot of Japanese companies, they're not too concerned what happens outside of Japan. That's just the way it is.
Also, I'm not 100% sure it wasn't Overwork, so it might have been on like an even more obscure streaming platform. But
Okay,
I'm
good.
just gonna assume it was. So
Okay, let's
it was
just...
not on Twitch, first of all.
Okay, so here at the Crosscut DP podcast, we do not double check our facts. We're just gonna assume it was OpenRec, and OpenRec sucks.
I tried to double check it, but it's kind of hard to find. So.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna like make you go through that. All right, but so Bonchan taking the crown there over in Hiroshima.
Yeah. Yeah, the second place, for the people who want to know, Gachikun got second place and Fowl got third place. Followed by GamerB, Big Bird, Mochi.
And then we get to the Big Daddy. As we already sort of pointed out, an early candidate for Tournament of the Year, right? In the mix-up.
The mix-up, definitely, yeah. Just amazing tournament all around.
I think the first two matches that I sort of saw on stream were both Tokido again.
Actually, same. I'm pretty sure I started with the Tokido Ricky Ortiz matches myself.
Yeah, and right before that it was Valmaster, right? So Valmaster and Ricky Ortiz, both, you know, putting up really good fights versus Tokido. But yeah, you know, it's Tokido. He's just too good. What are you gonna do?
Really kept us calm and just showed that Tokido is Tokido.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, by the way, huge shout out to Valmaster. Now that dude is really passionate or serious about his video games, because I remember Nightcross posting a tweet that after Valmaster, because Valmaster, I believe he lives in Paris, right? So he traveled all the way out to Lyon, and then from there on out he traveled all the way to the other side of France to play in another tournament before returning to Paris. So he basically did the Tour de France in one weekend.
Right, the Illuminati Triangle, right?
Yeah, exactly. We'll post a link to that tweet down below. But yeah, next up, immediately, so very early on stream, a set I do have something to say about. It's of course Problem X versus our own Belgium Takamura.
Problem X.
Problem X, baby. I'm not entirely. I believe Problem X took the first game, but then Takamura came all the way back, and you know, yeah, he just did. He did what Akumas do, right? One thing that was often mentioned, of course, whenever Takamura was playing, it just sort of the commentators still sort of harping on his. He used to be this like really aggressive player, and they mentioned that he's matured quite a lot as a player.
Yeah, definitely got a lot better.
But then, yeah, like I believe it was Tyrant on the mic for this one, and then later on Logan Sama. Shout out to Tyrant and Logan Sama. They both called this a massive upset, and they're both entirely wrong. It is never an upset when Takamura wins, like never.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Do you remember when he played Tokido CEO 2018 or something?
Yeah,
like
some
that?
tournament like that. Definitely an American tournament.
Wait, I actually wrote this down. Okay,
where he washed Tokido's ass. 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, it was that set was over so quickly. That set took less time than it takes to boot up Street Fighter 5.
Definitely.
So I mean,
connecting to server, more like downloaded.
No, it's not an upset. It's never an upset when Takamura wins. Like, there is not a single player on this planet that if Takamura wins versus that player, you say, oh yeah, that's an upset. Now, of course, Problem X is definitely the man in form, and like I have no problem saying that Problem X is the better player right now, but it's not an upset. Come on.
Yeah, at this point, when like Takamura wins against Problem like this, like, if I had to put in bets, maybe I would bet on Problem, but like if someone told me, okay, Takamura won, I'm not gonna be like, what? You know, like it's like, oh, pretty cool, you know, like definitely not enough.
Maybe I'll just run down some of the pools matches, because there were so many good matches. Sako versus Moke.
Oh yes, this match was really good. This was when I was watching, I mentioned it earlier, but the Akiki stream, so Sako's wife.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. How was she on when the husbando was playing?
It's how you'd expect it, right? Like, nervous for him. Really entertaining to watch, and the match itself was really good.
Yeah, because especially also because of the character matchup, right? We have Manat versus Rashid. Yeah, it's these like two polar opposites in style, so yeah, I'd definitely recommend that one.
Against Rashid.
Yeah. Yeah, next up we had Oil King versus Machabo. Machabo, I've heard that name before, but like, tell me something about him.
Yeah, so Machabo, he actually plays Guilty Gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's a god at Guilty Gear, basically.
Oh, okay. Machabo.
And of course, really good in Street Fighter 2, plays in Kali. Has been playing Kali since launch.
But yeah, the thing is with Machabo, because he played versus Oil King and he was so warmed up in the Rashid matchup that he took out John Takeuchi in losers bracket. So
no surprise, really, right? Like, once again, he's one of those players that you might not put next to the like all-time greats in Street Fighter right now. But he's still like good. He can definitely win against players of the caliber of John Takeuchi. So
yeah, and you know, after, because I really started following the scene right after around Evo Japan last year, and I remember Little J-Tech, he got third in Evo Japan 2018, and right after that, like both him and Nemo, they got signed by Team Liquid. And I was like super pumped for that, and like out of the two, I for sure thought, okay, John Takeuchi, young guy, like he's gonna like really start turning it up right here, but I was so wrong. Nemo definitely had the more successful year of the two, and I still feel like he's I don't think like if he keeps performing at this level, he probably at some point will be dropped from Liquid.
Yeah, I'd imagine like he's still really good, but he's not been getting like the consistent wins like people like Funk or other top 8 players have been getting over the past couple of months. Also, Nemo, like sometime last year, maybe a bit more back, was still working for Alienware, right? Like he actually had a job, so. And I think now, since he got picked up by Liquid, he went full on Street Fighter again, so maybe that helped him focus and get back into the groove of things again.
Oh, I just love watching Nemo play,
man. Was crazy.
Yeah, speaking about guys you love to hate, as the Mascopers would put it, the next match we had on stream was Itazan versus TKR. In my notes it says sloppy finish into sick pop-off, and I guess
sums it up.
That's all you need to know about that game. If you want to see sick pop-off like TKR, check it out.
I'm a big Itazan fan. He's such a great guy, so I was kind of sad that he lost, especially the way he lost. Kind of like dropped the ball there, but it wasn't.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, man. Yeah, and when I say us, it happens to me like every single combo, but yeah, sure. Yeah, next up, we had one of our recommended games, right? Diego Umehara versus Sonic. And, because I got berated by a guy on our Discord a little bit that I had no idea who Sonic was. And then, like other people joined in, like,
I had no clue.
Yeah, like, I guess some of the people that joined a little later, like, you have no idea who he is. Like, this guy's godlike.
The thing is that I've been following since like Ultra Street Fighter 4 days, and even before I had SF5, I still watched tournaments, and I've never heard of this guy.
Okay, so apparently to the people that are really in the know, which apparently we are not, like, why are you even listening to this podcast? Like, go do something with your life. But apparently, like, Sonic is a legit, a really good player, and he was like.
I mean, he was, yeah, of course.
It was.
Also, he's not from Europe, right? So you'd imagine if he came out all the way to the mix-up that he's at least somewhat capable, which he definitely was.
Next up, we had Haitani versus Hatsume, TKR versus Verloren. Yeah, Verloren, he's on the Ibuki now, right?
He definitely is my wallet for Verloren.
Exactly. So yeah, I guess when we talk about we assumed that quite a few pros would switch away from Kami this season,
and they have been, right? NL same.
Yeah, exactly.
Switching to Akuma.
Mm-hmm.
Tier Horse, Korea.
Oh baby, yeah. We see you, Korea.
See you.
So out of the two, who do you think has had the more successful switch? NL on the was it Akuma or Verloren on the Ibuki?
I think they're kind of the same level, right? Like placing wise as well. I think that tournament in particular, did NL get farther than Verloren? I'm actually not too sure.
Neither one made a huge impact. Like they didn't make top 8, right?
I feel like it's about the same level, right? Because when they were playing Kami, like both won a major, I'm pretty sure, even, right? So I mean, his Ibuki's still really good, and so is his Akuma, but maybe he needs a little more time to really get like tidbits of it like down.
And
specifics.
honestly, like, even though, because we're, you know, joking about the whole Kami tier whore thing, but of course, like, when you switch a character, it takes time. Look what happened to Haitani. Like, he had a bit of a rough time when switching from Nakali to Akuma.
He was like washed up for like 8 months, and now he's just placing top 8 every tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Lucas hitting him with the patented FGC washed up. Yeah.
FGC loses one tournament, washed up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what he was. Alright, moving on from there, we had Phenom versus Leo, Haitani versus Aziz. Afterwards, we had Fujimura versus Dawed, I believe. That is probably...
That was the Gal game, right? That I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it might be, and that's the one where also he did like what you said. Apparently, is kind of a standard thing, but
it's pretty standard, but like you do need to have the awareness. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Collection of combos.
So yeah, exactly. He had some optimizations in there. Like he literally comboed into another jump in combo mid combo, which I'd never seen before. That was pretty cool.
The Ibuki special.
Yeah. So yeah, then moving up from there, we had Jeremy Ray versus K-Brad. Hey, we had an actual Ryu in tournament. You know, that was cool.
Baby.
And then Daigo versus Vega Patch. Vega Patch, he's actually the guy that took out our beloved Belgian Mika monster Gigini. And he put up a real fight versus Daigo. Even though he ended up falling 0-2, like I really like that series.
Yeah, people have really been talking him up, right? Especially in the EU. He's definitely the best Fang in the EU, and just
best
really
Fang EU. It's not like the title you want, but if you need to have it, like, you know, a best Fang EU, okay, I'll take it.
Also, best Wi-Fi connection EU.
Oh, you play him?
I mean, yeah, but he's from Spain, so most people don't experience that great of a connection with him.
So basically, you played him once and then you blacklisted him.
Yeah, probably most of the FGC in EU.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, he's really good, and he did put up a fight, even though it was 0-2. But yeah, it was a pretty good match, but you did see that he was like still a little outclassed, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
By Daigo.
Oh yeah, and then up we had Fujimura versus Nasty Naz, which is a second one of my recommended games. Now Nasty Naz, like he was and that's what I really like about these big tournaments, right? Like he's a French player, he's in France, so like he has the home crowd cheering him on, and he was not at all impressed by Fujimura. Like he was going after him, he was cleaning up, like he was just playing a ranked versus a diamond Ibuki.
Pretty much.
And, you know, Fujimura, he's like the god tier Ibuki, but then apparently, and I didn't really know this, but apparently he does struggle a bit in the boxer matchup.
I mean, at least he did. I don't know if he still does, which apparently he does since it was so close in Nasty Naz. But yeah, so he played Smug, right? And Smug picked, it was a first to 3 because it was in top 8, and Smug picked G, game 1, because that's how he got to top 8. And he got washed pretty free.
So actually that is quite interesting to me, because I know that like in the West we really feel like Chi has a lot of potential as a tournament character, but the Japanese they're not at all convinced, right?
Or at least they weren't, right? Like maybe they've already rethought their stance on after just getting washed. You know, 801 Strider person who has been doing other stuff, right, and just made a reappearance with his G and really winning big matches and getting to, I don't remember what it was, but it was pretty close to top 8, I'd say. And then of course Smug getting top 8 with G, washing Fujimura in 2 tournaments in a row.
Yeah, that was pretty hype.
I doubt that they're still thinking G to be like low tier,
but yeah, like we mentioned earlier, unfortunately for Nasty Naz, he got this really big lead. He actually threw it away. And he looked crushed, man. Like he was so
triggered.
sad. Oh my god. But yeah. Next up we had Punk versus Hurricane, and you think, oh, this might be a good match. But yeah,
No.
Punk just put on a whiff punishing masterclass, and like Twitch chat is a bit hit and miss. But I'm gonna say they went Hurricane. More like tropical depression, am I right?
Yeah, I was already giggling because I read it.
Yeah, and then we had Momochi versus MOV, Fujimura versus K-Brad, Fudo versus Shax, and then finally your man, Angry Birds, Luffy versus Angry Birds.
Angry Birds. Door through winner's bracket, just like Daigo, pretty much. Right?
Yeah, for
the
sure.
only man who was really able to stop Angry Bird, at least the first, the only man who was really able to stop him was Daigo, I'd say, in winners final that was. Even though Punk won against him, I didn't really feel like Punk was like dominating Angry Bird, while Angry Bird was dominating like everyone in the tournament. He just looked like so clean, on point, and just outplaying everyone. But yeah, I felt like Daigo was the only one who really stopped Angry Bird from playing his game.
Yeah, if we look, and even though like those were the three people that were still definitely in top form during the tournament. You had like Punk, Angry Bird, and Daigo. But yeah, I mean, if you look at, we've been talking about this for I don't know how long, and these are just all of them are just pools matches. Like it's crazy. Like Itazan, like he was out early in pools. We had a review on stream. You know, it was all just big names.
These all look like top 8 matches from different tournaments.
And then like once we got into top 48, like it was even got even better. Like yeah, we had Tokido versus Enel, Momochi versus Daigo. Momochi versus Daigo, that was a close set.
Yeah, it was.
It was, if you want to see some like high level Street Fighter, you know, it had the mind games, it had like lots of delay buttons. But Daigo, like, and that is in this set, he really showcased like something that defined him throughout the weekend. He was just so confident. He put his gigantic balls in a wheelbarrow and he just moved forward. Like he didn't give a shit.
You wouldn't be able to say that he like plays a charge character just by watching him play, right? Like just walks forward with that. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
and
like
uses overpowered buttons.
Exactly, and this time he wasn't even like turtle walking. Because remember the tournament where he was turtle walking all the time?
Yeah,
like, it really threw the commentary team off as well. But in this case, like, he's no turtle walking. I don't do that. I just walk forward.
Yeah, Daigo is a firm believer of you need to have a reason to crouch. Like if you don't have a reason to crouch, you shouldn't crouch. And he's a really firm believer of that. So that man just walks.
Yeah, as far as top 48 matches are concerned.
Yeah, there's so many. Like you can just watch the VOD and watch everything.
Yeah, please do. Like, if there's any VOD you watch, like, watch Top 48, watch Top 8. It was really quite amazing. Maybe one set we do need to highlight, of course, is El Clasico, Tokido versus Daigo.
Right.
Daigo.
Just like continuation from Kemono Michi, right? Just Daigo dominating pretty much. On top of Daigo already being in like really good form, right? Like, it looked like it was after beating Angry Birds in winners final. Like it looked over to me. Like I didn't think Punk was gonna pull it back, especially because he was out of losers. So yeah, this informed Daigo against, of course, very solid Tokido, but it was pretty one-sided, I'd say, in general.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like this match was so like, it's kind of sad because Tokido, he was definitely like, he was not playing poorly at all, but like basically he was in winners and then he lost 8 straight rounds and he's out of the tournament. And that was that. Yeah, it's that's how stacked this tournament was.
That's how first to twos can go against top players.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, it was Tokido versus Haitani. So Haitani's the guy that actually played him out in losers.
Yeah, that set was really good. Haitani played like a legend.
Fujimura Angry Bird. That was quite a nice set. But see, the thing with that, like Fujimura, like he's always really nice to see, but he was maybe a little bit off of his game during this tournament.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, yeah.
He was dropping some combos, like doing some stuff.
Dropping combos.
Yeah, like there was stuff like you would not see him do that otherwise. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we got into top 8 next day. But then of course, yeah, we had the Angry Bird versus Punk matchup, and we had a bit of a conversation about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
So Angry Bird, is he the best Zeku in the world right now?
So I know that both Angry Bird and Momochi, first of all, don't really care about this argument. Like it's just so irrelevant, right? Like you just play to win.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you use a character and they don't really care about it.
But the fans care. Who is the best? Who is the best Zeku?
Okay. I'd say Angry Bird is the best Zeku.
Okay, why?
Like, why? Just you can tell that he's just fleshed out this character from day one. You know, he picked up the character and he's in the lab every time, every day getting new setups and just showing them attorneys every time there's something new I see him do. Specific technique countering certain characters like special move or anything, right? Like. This is something maybe Momochi doesn't really have, but Momochi just has the tech, of course, but like just not as much as Angry Bird in particular. Is Angry Bird better than Momochi? Who knows? Maybe at this point, like right now, he's really informed, right? Angry Bird is. But Momochi just has the play, right? Whether he's on Ken, Deku, Colleen, you don't really look at Momochi and think, okay, he's the Zeku god. You just think of Momochi as the Street Fighter god.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I'd say if we have to choose, I'd say Angry Bird probably is the best Zeku right now.
Oh yeah, Trashbox. We haven't even mentioned Trashbox throughout the entire tournament.
Yeah, he did decent at Brussels, right? But like, he's not someone you'd really expect in the offline top 8s all too often, especially in a stacked tournament like this. But I'm really happy for him that he got top 8, to be honest, even though he lost his first losers match, I think, right? I'm just happy for him, that's all.
Yeah, and it's
I know he was disappointed though. I watched his Twitter. He was a little disappointed, and he's gonna do his best move. But yeah.
Yeah, you know, he went down 3-0, and you know, going down 3-0 after you make top 8 in such a big event, it probably doesn't feel very good. But then again, you know, he lost against the Evo champ, and
it's Bison. Like, Bison's pretty decent against Birdie. One of the few characters that can actually Birdie broken buttons. So.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what I'm really happy about with Trashbox is that we're just seeing him traveling a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know how much he'll be traveling after the Europe trip, right? Because he just went straight to France after Brussels.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, I hope we can see him travel more.
Yeah, I really would hope so, because I like seeing him play. So
me too.
All right, winners finals: Daigo versus Angry Bird. Now, the thing about how Daigo was playing, apart from his gigantic balls, is that he...
And his massive brain.
Exactly. Somebody please make a drawing of that. Daigo with a gigantic brain and massive balls. Posted in the comment section down below. Now, but he makes the most boring character in the game look exciting.
He does, yes.
He's so active on offense. It's completely different from, like, if you meet a guy online, you know you're gonna have, even like, win or lose, you're gonna have a bad time. But, you know, Daigo, like, he makes it look so exciting. He
does. I'm sure it's not exciting to play against him, but for the viewers, it's definitely way more exciting than more of the Turkey style that you'll like regularly do.
Yeah. If we look at the losers semifinal, like Punk versus Problem, that was not close, man. That was kind of what I expected to happen. Like, Problem, he can win against these like really top players, but then there's certain players when he's up against them, I'm like, yeah, there's no way Problem's winning, and then usually he doesn't. So this is not a surprise, and of course it's Punk winning the tournament. It's no shame, right? Just dominating. Absolutely. Yeah. Also, like the like once the bracket reset happened, I thought like, oh, Daigo, come on. But then especially like the very last set of grand finals, after the reset, it was last game, last round, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh man. Yeah, I gotta do some more cardio because that shit almost gave me a heart attack.
To be honest, I was really rooting for Daigo that tournament because.
Same here.
Yeah. He hasn't won something in a while, and even though not a gala good, like Punk, that man has won enough, and he's already second at least, you know, like.
For sure, like, I mean, he would still get a shit ton of points, and I would like Daigo to repeat sort of the stunt that he pulled last year, because basically last year he only traveled to premier events. He said like, ranking event, that shit is below me, and he just went to like premier events and he still qualified for Capcom Cup. Of course he did. So it would have been nice if he like won here, almost already solidifying his Capcom Cup appearance.
Like 2-2, 1-1 final round, like.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. But yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed the tournament. Yeah. Anything else we want to add here?
Yeah, I heard that so 2 of our good friends from FGC Belgium went to the tournament.
Ah, that's actually right. Do we want to try and get them in here?
I mean, if they're all, I'm pretty sure they're working. But...
Ah, shit, yeah, work. They're people with actual jobs. Who knows?
Like us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what I heard from them is that the casual setups are very nice. Like, there was always room to play and stuff like that. So we talked about how great of a tournament this was, like, spectator-wise. But I'm pretty sure it was a really good tournament to go to, like, offline as well. So
yeah. All right, so Exactly. Yeah. Shoutouts to Ditten and Cicini and Saberwolf, also
Oh
attending
yeah,
the
right.
party.
Yeah.
Because he was not only there for like Street Fighter 5, he's definitely also there for Soul
Soul
Calibur.
Calibur.
Yeah.
I think.
And
Or no, maybe didn't.
yeah, he also, and this is kind of sad to see, he also reported on the fact that Dead or Alive 6 is wait, what's up with the stick? His stick is
I'm
broken.
pretty sure his stick broke like before his first game, and then he played on the stick.
Oh yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
and he's stranded like just at a top 48 because he was
Something
not
like
playing
that,
on
yeah.
his own stick. It's
Rip.
definitely blamed the stick, right? I mean,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Sure.
You play whatever you can in the FG.
Yeah, like that time that Gigini just got a 9th because of the stick, right? Yeah, but so he was talking about how like Dead or Alive 6 is kind of looking like a Dead on Arrival 6.
Dead on Arrival.
Yeah, so I mean, like there were all these Dead or Alive 6 setups there, and they were just empty. Like there was nobody there. There was literally nobody playing the game.
Surprised though, there were like so many issues, and who's like,
Is
who's
the
really gonna
surprise?
play it?
No, definitely not. Yeah,
Yeah.
not to me, but yeah.
I don't think to anyone really.
You know, it's still sad. Like it's
I
nice
mean-
to have. It's always good to have more franchises that are like vibrant and pulling
That
in
is
people.
true, but I mean, they probably get most of their money like sweaty otakus buying all the DLC for like 300,000 yen.
Oh, did you see like the like I believe it was some guy who on Twitter who added up all the different DLC
yeah,
available
I saw
for,
that.
but that was for Dead or Alive 5, right? But
Yeah,
if
I
you
mean, it
added
was not for the
everything up,
It was like 1.7k or something.
it was a ridiculous amount. It
Or
was
like
like
8k even, I don't know.
it was like somewhere around like 1.3, 1.5k.
Definitely
something like that.
well above 1,000.
Yeah, so if you ever want to spend over $1,000 on costumes, Dead or Alive 5 might be right up your alley.
Talking about costumes, Street Fighter 5 actually right now on a very big sale for like every costume pack, and they brought out like a couple of new costume packs as well, and they're all on sale because of the free-to-play weekends.
Yeah, more Chun-Li costumes. Surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
So if there's any costumes you like failed to pick up earlier and you want to pick them up, now is the time.
Yeah, you know what? Because we've been talking. I wonder what price Street Fighter 5 is at right now. I think if you add
It's
up
at
all the
20,
DLC, you might
Oh, yeah,
definitely be in the like $400 or $500 range. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, if you like add on all the DLCs, I'm pretty sure if you buy all the DLCs, it's at like 260.
260?
Yeah, something like that. I think I looked it up like yesterday.
Okay, I'm gonna trust you on that then.
It should be around, but it might be rigged sales, but yeah, it should be around 260.
Rigged.
Fucking rigged.
Oh, that reminds me. This is actually sort of a fragment I want to get in, and this actually be kind of cool to have like some sort of viewer participation, because on the FGC Belgium Discord we're always making fun of or like trying to catch these like really cool CFN nicknames we see, right? And because you mentioned Diego Umejuarez, which is like the classic, but I recently ran into like two others. Let me see. You have like, I guess this is actually kind of a well-known player as well, like Steven Sagat, which I really like. But then Dubaigo Ume Halal. who comes up with this stuff, man? So definitely.
I actually want to mention something. Steven Sagat tends to play Falk.
He does?
Yeah, I played his Falcon ranked like the other day.
Oh man, that's all right. So
At least I got to, of course, but it was definitely ranked on his main account. So.
Okay, that's all right. So there's that. Steven Sagat is not a Sagat player. That makes total sense.
He is. No shot, but he was definitely playing Falk that day.
All right, so yeah, that's definitely something. If you, as a viewer, you're grinding that ranked, or it doesn't matter. If you come across like any funny CFN nicknames, let us know down in the comments below. We'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
And if they're particularly funny, we'll mention them in the next episode. So next up, I guess we have another look at the CPT standings.
Following an adult is creepy. Following your kid is parenting.
Sorry, my mom.
Oh, I'm definitely leaving that in.
FGC mom, please.
Hi, Mom.
I need to help her with something, so after the podcast, mom. Okay, so Punk will put 7k points. That's like top 3 at the end of the season level of points almost. Tokido second, 880. He's pretty confident already, right? Like, if he stays like this, he'll probably be at the lower half, I'd say, for points, but he could probably chill, even though we both know he won't.
Yeah.
Funny to see, like, 5 and 6 are Momochi, Angry Bird, 2 Seku, like the same picture, and then Fujimura and Jen, 2 Ibuki.
Yeah, the best Seku is up there, and then the best Ibuki is up there, so I feel like these are definitely right. But they're still listing Momochi as a Colleen player. Does he even still play Colleen?
He does, yeah. It just depends on the matchup. He explains against certain characters like Birdie, but I think he's definitely like you would be able to call him a Zeku main, but it is all dependent on the matchup. But I think he will pick Zeku for most matchups, and if he's like 50-50, he'll most likely pick Zeku.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, he does definitely play Colleen.
Alright. Then at number 9 we see Fudo, and you know, he is so consistent. Like, he goes everywhere, like he gets second place everywhere. Shout out to second place.
The Birdie gang, right? Birdie Mika duo.
He's one of the first pros that was like really seriously you know, labbing and picking up a Birdie, and you can see it. Like, his Birdie right now, his alt Birdie is a class above everybody else's, so he's pretty comfortable on the Birdie matchup, and this is something that commentary picked up on. Ever since he started playing Birdie, his style with Mika radically shifted as well. Because of like Birdie the command grab, he is doing a lot more command grabs on his Mika as well now, so
that makes sense, yeah. Other than that, yeah, it's not really changed too much, right?
Nah.
Like, of course it's changed, but like nothing notable, I'd say. It's still so early, so it's all 5-point differences or ties even.
Well, we've got John Takeuchi up there, which is, you know, nice. Dogura finally making top 8 again.
Yeah, that was surprising to see.
So,
to me at least, with Bison, so
yep.
Not Urian. Then he played the mirror match, not the mirror match, but it was going to be the mirror problem X, but he whipped out the Urian.
So yeah, and then so sort of the lower half of the CPT standings, we've got let's see, Darren's still up there though, you know, he's hanging on for dear life.
For now.
Our own Takamura's in there, so yeah. I wonder how much he'll travel to like farther events, but
I have no clue, right? It all depends on, I guess, money and sponsors.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Bonchan, Gamer B, of course, they were notable absentees this weekend, but they'll definitely move up on the rankings. Yeah, Sako, I cannot imagine he'll stay down that low. I'm Chuan. Do we see him at Capcom Cup?
Probably not. He just doesn't travel enough. He goes to the Asian tournaments, but yeah.
So I guess that's it, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That means we have a bit of a preview for next episode. So obviously there's Street Fighter League happening tomorrow, but then apart from that we have 2 CPT ranking events coming up. We've got Northwest Majors in the US and Versus Masters in Asia. Which one of these are you more excited about?
I mean, I'm all about the Asian plays, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing my Asian Japanese overlords play. Yeah. So I mean, they're both ranking events, right? Not premiers. So I mean, it's probably not going to be too insane overall, but yeah, I'll be checking out the Asian tournament mostly.
Yeah,
I like seeing those players a bit more personally than the Americans.
Yeah, honestly, I definitely I'm gonna have to check out Northwest Majors because, you know, I've got a podcast to cover. But yeah,
I'm definitely gonna check it out. But yeah,
no, but like honestly, I'm also a lot more excited about Versus Masters. You know, it has Fujimura, Tokido, Xian are confirmed. Whereas if you look at the Northwest Majors, like the 8-seeded players, and then there's like this huge drop off in like no names. Honestly, the 8-seeded players are probably going to be top 8 as well. So maybe, I guess Versus Masters is going to be the event to check out. But yeah, who knows? Northwest Majors. You know, there might. Hey, my boy Get Wrecked, the Ed player, might show up.
Alright.
That'd be. If Get Wrecked is there, I'm so there. Like, for real.
I believe. I want to see him.
Yeah. All right. We're also thinking of somewhat restructuring the podcast starting next episode. So Lucas, let us know about that.
Yeah, so we know that maybe just recapping all the past tournaments might get a bit repetitive. So starting from next week or next podcast, rather, we're planning to still, of course, recap the most important parts of from tournaments or stuff like that, but we'd like to keep it entertaining and branch out more into like more general topics surrounding fighting games and topics all around fighting games really, and keep it fresh like that. So yeah.
We'll definitely still be covering the Pro Street Fighter 5, but we might have another look at some more topics that are like connected to that a bit more loosely. So yeah, look forward to that for next week. Good. Any quick shout-outs you want to make to the people?
Shout out to my mom for getting triggered because I need to help her with something, but I'm busy with the podcast.
All right, you can tell your mom you're off in about 5 minutes. Hi, Mom.
And shout out to all the grandmas that fell asleep listening to the podcast last week.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. That was good. Apparently, there were at least 200 of you that had grandma. So for all the people that tuned in last week, thank you so much. It was actually kind of cool to see support. We really appreciate it. So yeah, for me, probably shout out to all the people that gave feedback to last week's episode. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Baby.
Peace out.
Signing out.
All music for the Crosscut DP podcast has been provided by Cut Records. Check them out at cutrex.com.